Howdy, I'm Cyberox with Outlandishly Crafted, and we're back with part 2 of Arcade Space Shooter, making a game for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Yes, that's what we're doing. We're making a game, we're making a space game, and if you missed part 1, you should go back and watch part 1, because in part 1 we set up all of the animations, we built the basic model, and we got everything working to where we can fly ourselves around in this fancy ship. And that's what we wanted to do for part 1. And so now we got to figure out, well, what are we going to do for part 2? And I don't know. Let's see. So right off the bat, we've got this guy. He can move around. I'm just using the keyboard here to bounce him around. We could pull up our inventory. Throw that out there. Okay, so we've got the basics. I think the first thing that it just seems like we really need to do is get some kind of like projectile going where we can just start shooting stuff just right away. We already started with just having a crossbow. The problem with the crossbow is it is not a fast shooter. So it might be a good option for down the road. Let's check out the bow. I don't think the bow's going to be any better. The bow's probably going to be worse. Yeah, the bow is definitely worse. So neither of those are good options. We're going to have to come back to some other idea. This is so much fun just, playing with this thing as is. I want to add in some more animations. I want to add, like, when we jump. I want to add some... we already have, like, control to give some boost. So that's pretty good, too. But, yeah, I'd like to add some more stuff into there. So we could have, like, a fun boost as well. So let's see. Jump in. We could put an item in our hand. The item could be an attachable, which would be fun because if we did attachables, then we could have a whole bunch of different types of gadgets and gear and stuff that you could get in your bar, and so you could be shooting, like some lasers, and then you could have some like little missiles and homing missiles and little mining stuff. So that's a first little place. Another thing I think we should just do right off the bat is we should just get a fake shadow in here. So we want to take this guy. I'm going to duplicate him. I'm going to say shadow. Alright. So at least give us a basic shadow option. And then what we should do is everything that's in this one. So we'll take this guy, we'll put it down here because this is alpha. So that way anything that's in the it will be alpha'd. And then shadow, we need to say shadow I mean, you could definitely just delete these probably instead of doing this, but this works. Okay, shadows in the name of all these bones. So I'm going to save this guy. We're going to jump over to our resource pack file, and we're going to add in a shadow. And then we want to do... Man, this one's a hard one. Do we want to do a shadow or do we want to do a glow? Because it's... I mean, it's a ship. It would... Let's try an additive glow first. Okay, so we're going to have a shadow material. So for this to work, we need to go into our render controller third person, or we need to make our own render controller. I kind of think we're going to need more stuff, so maybe let's just make our own. Oh man, that's a pain. And never mind, let's just get a player render controller. Okay, so we're going to get player render controller. So we have a player render controller, and what we need to do is we just need to add in here that star shadow. So any bone with shadow in its name, front or back, the star just is a wild card, goes to material dot shadow. Okay, and the material dot shadow we just did, it's materials material dot shadow. So now if we did all this right, we should get an updated model with something. It's hard to tell. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, that looks, I mean, look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? And we could make that glow a little, like the more we move. So there's lots of options there. It is just slightly, it's like literally right on the line. And since we put it in rotation, it's actually it's moving with this guy. That's probably okay, but I think what we need to do is just move it up enough that when it drops, especially for hover, yeah, see how it's dropping below the line. Now, what we could do is counter it. We could also let's just take it out altogether. But root's what's doing hover, right? So it's still going to go, it's just barely going. So we need to, even if it's taken out, we still need to bring it up a little. Now the other option is we could just leave it out, which is fine, other than, I don't know. Well, let's do that. Let's leave it out for now. I want to do some funky stuff with this, and it's going to look odd if it's just sitting there. But now you see it's not moving at all. which I don't think I like that actually at all. I think I want to go back. So I want to go back to here. I want it to move some. I just don't want it to go through. So we're going to go back. I'm going to move it back up how we had it. We're going to test it and see. It's the lowest point, so it's still too much. Looks pretty good there. Now, one of the things we could do is technically, in this situation, it's going. We have a few options actually. So what we could do is go here. And this would be 0.98. And then here it'd be 1.02. Oh man, I hate when I do that. 0.98. And all we're doing is simulating its movement. You know, when something gets closer to it, it gets a little bigger, and then when it gets away, it gets a little smaller. So we're just simulating that in the shadow. Now, it is a little too pink, so we're going to go back to our faces, and we want to have like a gray over the top. Oh, damn. A darker gray. And then you could always like, oops. Really, that's the whole, oh, yeah, I guess it is. Maybe be like that. Okay, so now let's save, back, and let's test it. Oh, that's off. So if we're going up and down, it's rotating. So we have that messed up. So in our movement rotation, we have this guy. This one must be Y. Right? Okay, so green is Y and Y. And let's just try Z on negative. Let's try both on negative. Okay, so that's good. It's not doing that anymore. This is good, except it's got this weird. It's the negative. One of those isn't right. There's a lot of trial and error. Lots of air. You just gotta embrace the air. It feels like oh, I need to change the same thing with the shadow when we jump. So it feels like when we're moving forward, we're getting a lot of side rotation. But the only thing that's did I mess up hover? Hover's only got position. Idle's got rotation, but it's not being fed anything. Move is the only thing that has anything else in it. And its rotation is this guy. So why is he doing this funky... Did I feed... If move, do this. Yeah. If not, do that. For hover, feed. And hover's good. It's feeding that in. Feels like it did it as soon as I fed this 0. Maybe that's not right. I guess I could put that 0. I could put that negative there, too. Let's go back and see with what we have. If that undid that weirdness. That snapping can be because you set it to numbers that it's on the opposite side of. So it's like snapping, yeah, see how it's... Instead of tilting, it's rotating. It's weird because it's like just off like 5 degrees, which is what the other thing's supposed to be going up or down. So it's almost like it's going up and down, funky like. I wonder if I need to move. It's got to be on this one, right? Let's go with a negative. See what that does. It does it when I move because it's in move and move only is applied when I'm moving, right? So that makes sense. Okay, now it does it the opposite direction. So I definitely have something wonky on this math. Maybe, oh, divided by 2. Sorry. So you want to divide like speeds, but not degrees. I'm betting that's probably our issue. Let's go try it out now. That's what happens when you copy and paste stuff. Nope, still there, and still doing that funkiness. Okay. So let's so we did have it on X before. Why would what if it's doesn't seem like that would be right, but that does see it does look like what's wrong for sure though. I'm pretty sure we want to clamp it and just have something wrong there in this middle piece. Oof, yeah, same thing. If we take this out and we go to regular without it, we're good. So we know that that's our issue. This feels good. I think that's all good. I think this could probably be like times 2. The question is, why does this not give us a smooth? Let's try query rotation. Body rotation, camera rotation. Rotation to camera. Body X, body. So we have yaw speed, vertical speed, wing speed, modified move speed, ground speed. And we're using... Oh, well, shouldn't it just be yaw speed? Am I just being an idiot? I think I'm just being an idiot. Yeah, that's what it is. That feels pretty good. So the up is an issue because with the rotation it feels kind of odd that you go up so much like that. So I don't know, that might have to get tilted down just a little. Like it almost feels like we want to go -5. We want to go 5 on it. Yeah, that's not bad at all. So it moves, it goes to the sides really fast. So then let's add in, let's make this like 6. Like I think 6 is probably a good spot. And this would probably be 4. Now it might be worth putting in some of that in the idle, like at least like that rotation, just so that if you're idle and you know we rotate it, there's it's not flat. So there we go. So we're moving. That feels a lot nicer. So it's nice and zoom, bam, bam, ba ba bow, ba bow bow. Okay, then we got jumps. So when we jump, okay, so we should put that in next. So next is we need, oh, son of a, I always do that. Always do it. So jump. Yep. And jump, we're going to do the rotator, but I don't really care about the rotator. What I care about is the shadow. Okay, so when we jump, we're going to go up, and that means the shadow needs to go, you know, down, and then back up. Let's see how that looks. Oh, we forgot to program it though. Okay, so then we got to go here. I'm gonna say jump, and then we can just, you know, take this guy, that guy in there, and say jump, and then we take that guy and that guy and say jump. And this one would be query is jumping. Okay, and then we reload. Ooh, not bad. There is an issue with continuous jumping and then just timing. So like, see how it's if you're not holding down jump, if I just tap jump, then it instantly stops. So that's a problem. 1, 1, 1, 1. So you can see the timing is just not accurate. It almost might be better to go just to 0. And, you know, normally you don't want stuff to pop, but this might be one of those situations where you do want it to pop. So let's see. Or I think actually what I'd rather have is when you're jumping, it's just off. And one of the issues is because it seems like is jumping is a timer. So it's really feels like it's something like, you know, 0.25 maybe. And maybe even what we need to say is, so we really want to have it at the top. Yeah, let's see if that works at all. So a lot of these things are timers where, because you're holding a button down, if you hold the button down, it just counts from 0. There we go. So now, even though we're holding it down, or if we tap it, it comes right back, which is fine. If we hold it down, it's gone. Another way to fix that would be a BPAC would solve that really fast, but it's fine. I don't. That's not something we really care too much about right now. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we want to get rid of the shadow that's there. So to do that, we're gonna make our hitbox be 0 for now. We'll come back to this later. That could cause us. Actually, might make us fall through the ground. Eesh. I think we do need to make it. Huh. We're gonna think about that. Because I don't want to go through things. I do need to have a basic hitbox. I would. And it'd be nice if it was. Oh, come on. Just right at 1. Oh man, I was hoping I was gonna just be able to turn that off, but since this is player, if I turn that off, oh, I guess I just turn off gravity. Which if I turn off gravity and we jump, we don't come back down though. So I want to have gravity. I'm gonna have to really think about that. Normally you're turning off the shadow of entities, not player. So since I'm trying to do it with player, that's a whole nother problem. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna solve that. Okay, well, we'll come back to that. For now, we have our basics going. We still have collision. We have a little bit of extra speed there. I should put in something when we get the run speed boost right there. That's when the ship should probably tilt. So let's try that next. So we're gonna do move. We have this nice move that's all working great. We're gonna duplicate that, and we're gonna say move boosted. I'm gonna copy it because I won't remember it. And then all we're gonna change in it is we're gonna say on our rotator, I want to go -5 if we are over, 0.75 speed. Otherwise, be where we were before 0. Okay. And then what we're going to do on the back end is we're going to open up our. Oops, not that guy. We're going to open up our file again. Oh, I don't like the order of those. And we're gonna say move boosted. Okay. And we'll come down here and we'll say we just take move and then put move boosted in there. And this one was, well, if we're over, and let's say 7, we can put it right at 7.5. So if we're over 7.5, play this. And then for this one, we could say, and we are less than, because we don't want them both to play, because then they'll stack on top of each other. If this was an animation controller, then we could use the animation controller state machine to mitigate that. So let's jump in. The only thing we should see different here is when we run or we boost, we should get that tilt. Oh, he's tilting just normally. Ooh, that does feel good though. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so 0.75 isn't high enough. Okay, so we need this to be maybe like 1.1. I don't know what run is, honestly. 1.09. I mean, or you could say 1. I'm one of those people. Okay, and then we need to also change it in here and say, oh, that wasn't enough, so let's go 1.1. Okay, so when we're moving normally, it's not tilted up. And then when we hit run, it's still not tilted up. So we went too far. Okay, so we're going to kick this down to 1. Yeah, I probably should know what run is. Oh, and then we need to kick this down to 0.99. And we need to kick this guy to 1. That feels pretty good. So what's happening there is 1 is run, it looks like. And then if you tilt it all, when you do query modified, the extra tilt is what gives it that extra lift. So it's actually getting the extra 0.01 or whatever it is from us tilting, which I really like. And then it goes back to 0. So that feels good. Now, of course, right now, from inside, you know, we don't see anything first person. We'll deal with that maybe next episode or in a few episodes. Okay, that's the end of episode 2 of How to Do Arcade Space Shooter. I'm CyberX with Outlandishly Crafted, and make sure to join the Discord if you haven't. Check out the website, check out all the YouTube videos, and like and subscribe.